What you can see being drawn in the background right now is the Rom soldier, the backbone of the Rom military. If you want to know more, stick around. Welcome to the Monster Garden, and the first proper episode of this world-building project that I've decided to call Rust and Trenches. In this first episode, we will be focusing on the redesign process of the Rom soldier, and also a little bit of lore. So, let's get right into it. I started off with the goal of creating a unit that embodied the country it came from. There were a lot of elements that needed to work together, and it took a lot of fine-tuning to get something that I'm happy with. And now I have a design that I think works quite well. Though, knowing how I am, I'll probably want to change it again eventually. Anyway, first thing I did was gather a lot more references than last time, trying to understand the source material more. Then I wrote down a list of requirements that the design needed to hit for me to be happy with it. First thing was that I wanted to get the balance between World War I and medieval right this time. I tried to change the cloth to gambeson, and that seemed to work. It really helped tie everything together. Second thing was that I needed it to look more reliable and sturdy, which I did by deciding to go for more rounded and square shapes when designing it. Third thing was that the first design was missing the religious symbol of the centrists, which is the religion that the people of Rom believe in. So I designed and added those onto the bits of armor that are on the armpits and the thigh thingies. I don't know the terminology, but you get what I mean. When it comes to both sides and their religions, we'll touch upon that on a later video when it becomes more relevant. But for now, know that the symbol of the Rom religion is this sort of upside-down Gothic church window. Next thing was how to decorate the armor without tarnishing the quality of the armor underneath. The first version, I decided that painting the armor would be a good idea, but it ended up making it look like a toy soldier. So, the solution that I came up with was that Rom armor smiths add a decorative layer of metal on top of the armor. The helmet of both Rom and Varus changed as well to show the face, not only to make them able to actually see, but also I wanted to be able to draw the soldiers' faces to show emotion. I'm not the best at drawing faces, so I think it's a good idea to show their face so I can practice, instead of avoiding faces forever. I think those are all the major changes that I did to the design, outside of changing the shape of the utility belt a little bit, adding a gas mask and the folded coins on one side of the chest, which is believed to be a luck charm by the people of Rom. And eventually in the final design I increased the length of the coat, a jacket thing as well. I don't know what the thing. By the way, I know speed paints normally have music in the background, but I have no idea what to put in. I don't even know if there should be music in the background. If you have any suggestions of music that you think I should put in the background, I mean, you could comment it below or something like that. Whatever the YouTubers say. If you have any criticisms or suggestions to improve the videos as well, comment those. I would love to know what I should improve. Now, let's get into a little bit of lore. The Rom soldier is the backbone of the Rom military. They are flexible and can be equipped with a plethora of tools for any job. The uniform and armor they wear is solidly protective and is not too cumbersome. Depending on the soldier's luck, they either get issued a new uniform and suit of armor, or a repaired, scavenged armor. Nothing goes to waste. Corpses are taken from the battlefield and stripped, the ripped and torn uniforms fixed, armor repaired, and reintroduced into the cycle. Before the war started, armor smiths and gunsmiths put their own touch into each piece they created, and stamped them with their brand, which meant each piece at the time was unique, like a piece of art. Some soldiers still prefer these old war relics from a bygone era, as they seem to have some sort of character to them. Sometimes the soldiers trade for them. The armor created nowadays is plain, lacking character and patterns, as it's easier to manufacture that way. Scrolls are what allow Rom soldiers to keep up with mages of Varus. They allow anyone to cast spells, and Rom manufactures a variety of them. The combustion scrolls are the most common, basically a souped-up grenade with a lot of destructive power. Then there are the flamethrower scrolls, which are pretty self-explanatory. And rooting scrolls, which were intended to be used to reinforce bunkers and trenches, but soldiers figured out that they could be used offensively in quite a gruesome manner. The roots these scrolls produce also later on become something quite concerning, but I won't go into that this video. These are just to name a few of the scrolls, and many new ones are being developed constantly. After the Rom soldiers equip themselves, they are sent off into no man's land to meet whatever horrors may lurk in the fog. This last image you can see being drawn right now is my attempt at a nicely rendered piece to show off the final design. A soldier standing as around him casualties are getting piled up into mounds to be sent off as usual.